let us start. This is a special meeting of the Hiram City Council, and we're here tonight on some short items, but one that will be long and lasting is our hope. So we first want to start by taking a roll call. Pardon me? So it looks like we are all here. We're still minus one councilman. So we'll call the meeting to order. We'll welcome everyone. And need to have a motion to adopt the agenda.
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda as written.
Okay,
Second that.
and a second. Okay, and so we're going to just jump into our agenda items this afternoon, this evening. Oh, all in favor?
Aye.
Perfect. So let's jump into our agenda items. If I seem a little rushed, a little hurried, it's because I am. I'm sorry. I've just come from a county meeting, and I may have broke the speed limit. I'm not sure, but
You're going okay.
I'm going okay. Okay. So first of all, on item 5A is the consideration and appointment of a city administrator. And we have Mr. Daniel Ferris. Daniel, if you'd come up and take the podium, please. And we'd like to have you share a little bit about you and who you are and what you're all about, and just get to know you just a little bit if you wouldn't mind.
Sure. My name is Daniel Ferris. Dan Ferris is fine. I've lived here in Cache Valley now for the last 13 years. I worked at USU for most of that as their director of utilities, energy management, a lot of their facilities type positions. Before that, I was in Oklahoma State University and worked in municipal government in Texas. I was in the Air Force for 8 years. So I have a wide-ranging career that I've gone through the last 26 years. So I'm excited to be here, really excited to be appointed as the position and hopefully voted on today. I just think Hiram's a great place to be. It's a great place to live, and it's a wonderful place for the residents here. And so I'm really excited about the possibility of being able to serve this community, help the city grow, but at the same time, maintain that heritage that's so important to the people that live here, that small town feel. So I think it's a great mission, and my entire career has been focused on service, whether it was in the military or whether it was in municipal government or state government. So I'm really excited to be able to continue to do that.
That's wonderful. Do any of the council members have any questions for Daniel?
I want to know how disappointed you were in the game yesterday.
Yeah, I kind of expected it, the way it was, but I mean, I was hoping they might pull off a win.
Anyway, I thought they did a
They did a
good
great job,
job.
yes.
So,
Got within 4
Yeah.
points.
Yeah.
I know you taught when I asked you over there. You said you had worked at the university, and I think I had heard that you have an engineering background.
That's correct, yes.
And what specific field? Or,
Mechanical engineering, mostly focused on energy and utilities.
Uh-huh.
So,
And I think that's something that as we grow, we can certainly use. I know when you take engineering in the first couple of years, they just have you take a broad
yeah, definitely.
sweep. So any other parts of the engineering that you?
So my whole career has been focused on really utilities, utility production, whether that's electricity, sewer, water, all the utilities on campus. And so very similar to what you guys are making here. This is one of the few cities in the area that actually does all their own utilities. And so it's pretty impressive that it does that. And so I'm happy to be able to use my expertise in that area here. I am a professional engineer in Utah, so I got my license as well. So
Awesome. So where did you actually grow up in
I'm from Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania?
It's a small town called Shippensburg, Pennsylvania, and south central, kind of near Gettysburg area, in the middle of the state, rural farm country, Pennsylvania.
It's beautiful
So-
there. I love
Oh, it's
that.
gorgeous.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thanks for answering
Sure.
my questions.
Happy to.
I will say that during the interview process, Dan really came through with a passion and love for Hiram and for Cache Valley, and had been watching our city council meetings, had read up on Hiram, our budgets, our ordinances, but his love of Cache Valley and his love of Hiram really came through.
Thank
I
you.
want to hear about your family.
My family?
Yeah.
My wife is Stacy. We've been married for 27 and a half years now, 28 this spring. So I have a son, a 9-year-old son named Griffin. So we're homeschool parents. So he's homeschooled. So he's in third grade
School
right now.
mom here.
Oh, great. Yeah. So,
And educator.
Yeah, and
yeah.
educator.
yeah. So he's in third grade and great little, very, very fun child. So yeah.
Nice.
Only child?
Yeah, he's the only child.
So the key is to spoil him, but
Yeah,
don't
completely.
let him know that he's spoiled.
Yeah, we waited a long time to decide to have kids. We were foster parents when we were younger, so it was kind of a time where like we didn't want to do that anymore. But then as we got a little older, we're like, yeah, let's go for this.
Oh,
So,
that's great.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Way to commit.
yeah, that's right. Just
Yeah.
jump right in.
So Daniel, before we take a vote on the council, do you have questions for the council?
No, I'm just really excited to see what the council's ready to do, and I'm excited about it.
Well, that's great. That's great.
Mayor, just one thing that came out a little bit later in the interview and selection process is some of, you mentioned being responsible for campus utilities. We had a lot of discussion about that. But I think some of the things that didn't get as widely discussed as some of your actual role and involvement in the electric utility with Utah State and the cogen plant. Can you maybe share with the council a little bit more about those,
Yeah. So
what you've done with that work and things there as well? Just
Sure.
because, like you said, Hiram Utilities does include electrical utility, and we have a natural gas generation facility as well. So.
Yeah, so Utah State has a 4.5 megawatt cogeneration turbine. So they burn natural gas, it makes electricity, and then the heat that comes off that turbine is used to make additional steam. So it's cogeneration. So we're making two utilities, electricity and steam, with one input of just natural gas. And so it's a great little plant there they make. It was originally made just kind of as a peaking plant to serve Logan, kind of when they needed us to turn it on, because the rates weren't really good to do that because the gas prices were so high. Once gas prices dropped down, we started just burning it nonstop. So it runs 24/7. They make 4.5 megawatts of power all the time. So it feeds about half of campus's load. At nighttime, it serves the entire load, and then during the day, it serves a lot less, depending on the peak of the campus's demand. And so we then distribute that across campus, and we maintain all that distribution system on campus. Logan Light and Power feeds into our substations, but that's where they stop. So the 12.5 kV distribution system is maintained by USU. So
Thank you. And also as part of that, Daniel was the USU's representative to the Logan City Light and Power Board. Am I understanding that
yeah,
correctly?
that's correct. Yeah, I was
And so
the member of the Light and
having a
Power.
background of that, given some of our recent discussions and things with Pacificor and UAMPS, it's good to have that background in our community as well. So.
Yeah, USU bought about half their power. The rest of their power they didn't make from Logan Light and Power. So we were one of their major users.
Can I ask one more question?
Sure.
Please. You were at Oklahoma State University, right?
That's correct. Yeah,
Okay,
for 4
so
years.
What actually got you to come clear out to Utah? I mean, Utah's I would say a target state, but
Yeah. So kind of an interesting story. When I was in the Air Force, ROTC program, I was at Ole Miss, which is where I went to school originally. I started out at Penn State, but my wife, she was a Mississippi girl, so I fell in love and moved to Mississippi. Graduated from Ole Miss, and the ROTC program just kind of puts you where they want you to go. And so I was a civil engineering squadron officer, a lieutenant. So the facilities are kind of maintained by the civil engineering squadron, and so they put me at Hill. So that was my first assignment, and we fell in love with Utah. So when we had no idea what Hill was, we had no idea where it was. We didn't even know anything about Utah when we got here, but we fell in love. So
can you tell me the years you were there? Because when I walked in the door, I thought I've seen him, and
Yeah.
I actually worked the last 30 years at Northrop Grumman on Hill Air
okay,
Force.
yeah, I was there from '99 to 2002.
I was there those years. So
So I I started out as in a construction project manager type position, and then I went right into energy and utilities for the university or for the base. So I was
Base,
their
okay.
energy engineer while I was there, and
Okay.
fell in love with fell in love with Utah. We'd come up to Tony Grove and go hiking all the time, and so we came through Logan. We do that. And we really like Logan. So if we ever got a chance to come back after the Air Force took me other places, we wanted to. So got out of the Air Force in Texas, worked for the city there, and then Oklahoma State. And then this job opened up at Utah State, and I was like, it was kind of a bit of a step down from where I was at, but I loved Utah so much. I was like, let's go for this. This is the place we want to be. So Oklahoma was fun, but it wasn't the place we wanted to be long term. So
Diane, thank you.
sure.
Daniel, one more thing. In addition to your qualifications, will you take maybe 1 minute and just tell everyone about your background with leadership and leadership
Sure.
training? 'Cause
Yeah,
that's a
so
big portion of what you've accomplished.
I'd be happy to. So the Air Force spends a lot of money to train people for leadership, and so when I went through the Air Force leadership program, the RTC program, I loved it. But it's not necessarily it doesn't necessarily equate to civilian leadership. It's kind of a wartime leadership, really what they're focused on. So I really got into studying leadership as well for how do you lead people that aren't required by law to follow your orders, type of thing. So I really studied that a lot. And as that went on, I actually went back and had a chance to teach RTC to teach the cadets that were going to become the new officers in the Air Force. Love doing that. And ever since then, I've really taken a lot of effort to teach and to teach leadership classes, to coach, to mentor the people that work for me. And every job I've done since then, I've put in a lot of focus in making sure we have leadership opportunities available and training available for everyone, whether I'm teaching that or whether we're bringing someone else in to do that. I really feel leadership training is essential for any organization.
Thank you.
Any more? So, by the way, Larry Coleman is our power director,
Well, there.
and you'll get a chance to shake his hand. And we have other distinguished guests. We have brother and sister Haddock, right? They represent, Daniel, a program called Just Serve,
Okay.
which is it's a church-based, but it's also a community-based program that allows individuals to give of their time in service.
Okay.
Different projects, and they are the northern or the southern end leaders for the Just Serve initiative, and we are so grateful to have them in our community. They do a wonderful job. And then Todd Perkins in the green is our city treasurer, and Robert Stroud to his left is our city recreation director. And the good gentleman in the very back is Friend Weller, and he's sending Morse code right now to all of your affiliates. So that's great. He's puts this meeting on the radio,
Great. Yeah.
and we also YouTube it, so it's being recorded. Maybe your wife's watching it.
Yeah. I don't know if she is or not.
Well, you can turn and wave to her and tell
Back
her you
and
love
watch
her.
it later.
So we're grateful that you're here, and we're excited about the future. And just want you to know how impressed we were during the interview process. So thank you very much.
Man.
So with that, we need a motion and a vote.
I'll make the motion for consideration and appointment of a city administrator, Daniel Ferris.
I second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you
It's
very much.
unanimous.
Yeah. Thank you.
Congratulations.
No, thank you. We want to get a picture with you and the council
Yeah.
while you're in a suit and tie.
Yeah. I don't
You'll
very
make us
often.
look better.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready for a suit.
So we look forward to that,
Great,
but we'll
thanks.
conduct the rest of this business and then we'll take a few pictures after, if that's all right.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Daniel.
Mayor.
Okay, 5B, consideration and appointment to the Hiram Library Board of Ashley Arnold.
Okay, so Ashley was going to be here tonight, but had a little family emergency come up and wasn't able to come. But with the vacancy on the library board, there's an extra spot, and it was decided to contact Ashley Arnold. She's also a mom of 5, lives on the west side behind South Cache. Homeschools her 5 children, very active in the community. Amazing lady. So that was the recommendation. I did reach out to Ashley, and she accepted the position and is very excited, uses the library a lot and knows Emily very well, and excited to be a part of it and to be involved. So
Excellent. Do we have a motion?
I will make the motion for the consideration and appointment to the Hiram Library Board for Ashley Arnold.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Let's move to 5C, consideration and approval of an interlocal agreement between Cache County and Hiram City for law enforcement services for 2026 and 2028. We had Sheriff Chad Jensen, as you know, come and present the budget and the proposed contract with Hiram City. And I think if there's any questions on that, I'm very impressed with our coverage from the sheriff. We've had some good long conversations about some issues, different issues in Hiram and improving that a little bit. And he was certainly in favor of that. And so I think we have a very good contract in place with Cache County Sheriff Department. So with that, I'll leave someone up to make a motion and we'll vote.
I'll make the motion to consider and approve the interlocal agreement between Cache County and Hiram City for law enforcement services for 2026 through 2028.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, 5D is consideration and approval of a commitment to, excuse me, volunteerism in Hiram City, Utah, namely the Just Serve Initiative program. And we've already signed the chart, let's see, what do we call the proclamation? And we're excited about that. I know that our youth council's excited about it. And we want to get not only our youth council excited about it, but we want to get the entire community excited about it because it's a wonderful program. It serves a lot of good needs. So thank you. So we need to have go ahead, Craig.
I make a motion to approve the proclamation for commitment to volunteerism in Hiram City. I think that's the way it's written. So that's my motion. I also have some discussion, but let's let it get a second if there is a second.
I'll second.
Okay,
So
any
some-
further discussion?
Some discussion and consideration with this. Technically, it should be, the vote should happen before the signature, just legally, that's a city proclamation. If it was just if it wasn't a proclamation, then it doesn't matter. It is a proclamation.
Do you have another copy and I'll sign
I
it?
could care less. It's signed, and I
okay.
think that's great.
All right.
That's great, but I just want to, the discussion is, as we read this, and I read it carefully, and I think we all have, I think we can't just say this. I mean, we had a council meeting last Thursday night, and an opportunity that the city has been pursuing that was approved by the city council previously, that was included in our budgets and things, came up with some discussion in my report and dealing with the mural out there in the alleyway. And I was kind of surprised, very surprised with the comment of we're not going to do the one in the alleyway, but let's do the small one on the building, because the museum and the library have both been actively seeking input from the community. This is a very high-level volunteer opportunity to paint that mural that includes diversity of cultures, diversity of history, and lots of other things that are noted in this proclamation. And whereas it was approved by the council previously, I was a little shocked and surprised with that direction of the mayor in this situation is the executive to implement a council approved direction. And then I did follow up with Jamie. She said there's been about 36 patrons from the library and the museum that have been involved in submitting things to be considered in that. And Jamie mentioned that she had recently shown another draft to you and you'd felt that this looks good, let's continue forward with it. And so I was quite
I've
surprised.
not seen I've not seen any draft of anything.
You haven't seen, okay. She just told me before the meeting that she had showed you a draft, probably would have been in January, February, not like in the last few weeks,
Okay.
and had directed her to continue forward. So and that's something I wasn't going to bring up here other than that is directly related with the volunteerism. And so I apologize this. I was going to bring it up outside of a council setting just privately, but I think we have to look at this and say what opportunities are out there. Robert has, a lot of things in the works that he's using volunteers for, and that's great. This is one that we're using volunteers and looking at ideas that will be painting it, that, the diversity, one of the things that we talked about is Utah and the railroad. A significant part of the railroad through Utah was built by Chinese labor. And that's a significant part of Hiram's history as well. That was part of it. The Shoshone, the rendezvous and the history of that, and many other things. I think before we say let's not do it, let's look at, and this came up when we looked at this on the agenda as Just Serve as an excellent opportunity to use this resource to bring in more people to help with the painting. We've already got a list that the library and museum have been tracking for that. Our discussions have been like, having about 200 people come to help paint different parts of the mural. I'm conflicted, and I mentioned the night that it's not the best spot. It's not the most visible spot for a mural. I think we should have more discussion about this as a volunteer opportunity. I went after our meeting and your discussions about that. I looked at several of the different murals in Logan and says, what does it mean? You can't get, half a block away or 300 or 400 feet or 200 feet away from this alley in the museum. So I went to different murals and I said, okay, what if you've got 20 feet that you can pack up from this and look at it? Does it have the same impact, or is it just kind of lost in, you'd see it differently when you see a bigger view of that. And that's something we absolutely need to look at or consider. But as I looked at other murals with that, I was like, you can still get a perspective of what this is looking like. And I would just like to encourage us to, I think this is wonderful. I think we should approve it, but that we look at opportunities in our community to implement this carefully and maybe have more discussion as a council before we say we're not doing one, we're not doing, if you take the alleyway out of that and just say, let's do just the north wall, I don't know if this could go forward or not, but I'd like to have further discussion as a volunteer opportunity.
I think, excuse me, I think we definitely need further discussion. And I guess personally, I think we're talking about two different
We are.
proposals here. I
Absolutely.
think Just Serve is an initiative that involves the entire community. I think the mural, is still up for discussion, quite honestly. I've presented that to several citizens over the last week, and I'm not getting real favorable responses back to it. And so I think it merits further discussion from the council before we pass and approve a mural. But I think that we need to move forward with the Just Serve initiative and bring that into action in our city. That is certainly a healthy program that will bless many lives. But I agree, Craig. I think we have to have further discussion on that. So we've had a motion and a second. We'll take a vote on this proclamation for the volunteerism commitment. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, very good. That passes. All right, is there any other business that we need to bring up at this special meeting tonight?
It's on the agenda. That's all that's on the agenda. We're good.
Okay,
I move to adjourn the meeting.
we're adjourned.